Liars and lie detectors. The Trump administration ramping up its polygraph operation, even as it orders intelligence analysts to rewrite national security assessments so they won't implicate Trump. To lie or not to lie? That is apparently the question. Welcome to the No Spin Zone. Graphs Grievances starts right now. Two new, deeply reported stories, one from the Wall Street Journal, the other from the New York Times, revealing a disturbing conundrum at the heart of the Trump administration. In some cases, lying to the American people is not only accepted, it's required to keep your job. In other cases, lying gets you fired. The one constant? Protecting dear leader Donald Trump. Even then, it gets tricky, because as we've long known, truth has never been a guiding principle for him. And that's how we end up in this twisted reality. While the administration hunts for supposed internal moles using polygraphs, it's also instructing analysts to lie in national security reports. On May 20th, the Wall Street Journal reported that employees across the Department of Homeland Security are being summoned to a small interrogation room in Virginia, fitted with polygraph equipment. They're strapped into a chair that detects physical discomfort. They're hooked up to a blood pressure cuff, an oxygen monitor, and a tube wrapped around their chests. All of this directed by dog-murdering Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem as she hunts for her next prey, also known as leakers and disloyal staff. According to current and former DHS employees, people who've served under both Republican and Democratic administrations, this kind of operation is highly unusual. There's no evidence of classified leaks from DHS, and yet the polygraphs continue, seemingly at random, creating what insiders describe as a chilling effect throughout the department. The tests, which can last anywhere from 90 minutes to 4 hours, are notoriously unreliable and aren't admissible in most courts. Yet, according to the Journal, Madison Sheehan, the number 2 at Immigration and Customs Enforcement, and a close ally of Noem, has routinely threatened employees with polygraphs during meetings. In addition, Noem and her top advisor, perhaps boyfriend, Corey Lewandowski, have personally requested polygraph tests for specific staff, or used the threat as a tool of intimidation. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has also reportedly threatened senior military leaders with polygraphs too, though it's unclear whether any were actually administered. So yes, it's very creepy. It's coercive. But hey, maybe it means someone in the Trump administration cares about protecting national security secrets. Because we certainly know that Donald Trump doesn't. Remember, in the summer of 2023, Trump was indicted on 40 criminal counts for stealing more than 700 pages of classified documents after leaving office. Documents he stashed at his Mar-a-Lago estate. And now, thanks to the New York Times, we know Trump's team isn't just ignoring national intelligence. They're trying to rewrite it to serve their political agenda. At the center of this news story is Joe Kent, Chief of Staff to Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard. In early 2024, the National Intelligence Council produced a classified assessment about Tren de Aragua, a violent Venezuelan gang. The bottom line, there was no credible evidence that the gang was being directed by the Venezuelan government to target the United States. But that intelligence didn't line up with what Donald Trump wanted to say. On March 15th, Trump issued a presidential proclamation accusing the gang of irregular warfare against the U.S., claiming they were acting under orders from the Maduro regime. Trump used that claim to invoke the Alien Enemies Act, a centuries-old wartime law, to justify deporting migrants without due process. There was just one big problem. The intelligence community had already reviewed the situation and concluded Trump's claim was false. Instead of reevaluating the policy, Joe Kent jumped in and tried to reshape the facts. In an email to intelligence analysts, he said they need to, quote, rethink the report, specifically so it couldn't be, quote, used against the DNI or POTUS. In other words, he wanted the analysis rewritten to match Trump's political messaging. The analysts revised the report, but even after Kent pushed for edits, the second version still contradicted Trump's narrative. So, what did Gabbard do? She fired the head of the National Intelligence Council and his deputy, accusing them of being, quote, deep state bureaucrats. Think about that. Instead of listening to intelligence, they punished the people who provided it. Instead of adjusting the policy, they tried to erase the truth. All of this raises one terrifying question. How can we trust that the President of the United States is getting accurate information about the threats facing America? If intelligence is being rewritten to match Trump's talking points, if analysts are punished for speaking the truth, then national security itself is deeply compromised. How can military, intelligence, and law enforcement leaders make sound decisions if the facts have been so distorted to protect the president's ego? Does Trump even know when the intelligence he's seeing has been manipulated to avoid upsetting him? This isn't just about lying. It's about creating a system where reality is edited, truth is punished, and the power is protected at the expense of public safety. And that's not just dangerous, that's a threat to America itself. Thank you for watching Graph's Grievances. Let me know what you think in the comments. Please consider supporting my channel via the Venmo link below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you tomorrow for more.